Kim and I decide to marinate some juicy placenta and cook it up and serve it to everyone for dinner.
I felt really guilty that this woman just had my baby, and I take the baby and then I go to another room and you're sort of separated.
They could possibly be using a surrogate from Thailand who allegedly is living in Kanye's Manhattan Beach home. And they're also alleging that Kim will buy prosthetics to baby up for every month.
Wendy Williams is back in the news again after being locked up in her messy guardianship, and her first target is already Kim Kardashian. This comes after Kim was exposed for allegedly working with Epstein to force unsuspecting women into becoming surrogates without their consent for his breeding farm. Kim was first slapped with these wild allegations in the just-released Epstein files, but things only got worse for her when receipts leaked of her taking advantage of the surrogates who gave birth to her kids. So, according to reports, a victim complaint submitted in the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case alleges that Ghislaine had a close relationship with the Kardashian sisters and that they assisted in the use of the complainant's identity. But here's where things get crazy, y'all. The complainant claimed that her eggs were extracted without her consent and used for pregnancies for other women. And as if this wasn't bad enough, they allegedly also used the complainant's name and funds to promote business ventures and financial activities that she had no hand in. One of those business ventures was a $600 million deal tied to Kylie Cosmetics. Oh, and remember those allegations about the celebrities in the Epstein files feeding on you-know-what? Well, right after this entire mess with the surrogacy was exposed, people dug out a disturbing video of Kim and Kourtney literally eating their own. Yes, the same placenta that comes out of pregnant women when she gives birth. Now, it would have been one thing if this were their own, because apparently, some women tend to do that after giving birth. I know it sounds a bit gross, but hey, it came from their body, so whatever they choose to do with it is completely up to them. However, Kim and Kourtney never once said that it was for either of them, leaving people to suspect that this was of a random person. Now, before the Epstein files, no one could guess, but after it all got exposed, folks speculated that it may have been the placenta of the complainant in the Epstein files.
I like to call placenta. Kim and I decide to marinate some juicy placenta and cook it up and serve it to everyone for dinner.
Now, mind you, Kim and her entire family are literally obsessed with getting surrogates to carry their pregnancies for them. So now the question everyone is asking is, did these women become surrogates because they truly wanted to? Or were they part of the women whose eggs and wombs were used against their will? Kim claims that her decision to use a surrogate for Chicago and Salm was due to some serious medical complications from her first two pregnancies. But people are looking back now and side-eyeing everything.
Kim said after she popped North out, she developed placenta accreta, a condition where the placenta grows inside the uterus and can be life-threatening. Something she described as, honestly, what people would die from in childbirth. The condition required doctors to manually remove the placenta, leaving a hole in her uterus that couldn't heal. During her second pregnancy with St. West, she claimed she developed preeclampsia, and the complications were severe enough to require multiple surgeries afterward. Kim said she was initially worried that she wouldn't love a surrogate-born child the same way, but after talking to another mother who had used a surrogate, that fear was put to rest. She also felt nervous about not having control over the pregnancy, given that she had carried her first two children herself. But it didn't stop there. Another person in the family who used a surrogate to have a baby for her was Khloe, and even after putting that poor surrogate through the pain of carrying her offspring, she dared to say she didn't feel connected to the baby because she didn't carry it herself. And guess what? Kim was right there defending her. You cannot make this up. You see, after Khloe's first pregnancy with True Thompson, her doctors advised her that carrying another child herself would likely be unsafe, and that was when she decided to use a gestational surrogate for their second child. What's crazier about all this is that it was right when all this stuff with the surrogate was going down that Tristan got exposed for fathering a whole other child with his side piece, Marilee Nichols. Khloe had to process the public humiliation while simultaneously preparing to welcome a new baby through a surrogate she couldn't emotionally connect with during the pregnancy. And when he was born, Khloe opened up about how emotionally disconnected she felt throughout the entire process. She admitted she buried her head in the sand, was in denial, and couldn't bring herself to attach to the pregnancy while it was happening. She described it as a transactional experience that felt weird compared to carrying True herself. And get this, Khloe actually said she felt a surrogate delivered because she felt like the surrogate had to go through all the trauma, and she just got to scoop up the baby to another room, a baby she never even carried. At the time, people were feeling for Khloe. But with everything we know now about her and Kim's alleged ties to Epstein's farming projects, people are calling her out for faking it all for the cameras.
But a surrogate process, Kim knows it's really hard for me.
Well, what does that mean?
She had a really hard time accepting the whole process.
Got it.
It's a mind. It's really the weirdest
I
thing.
could see
I
that.
do think that there is a difference. When the baby is in your belly, the baby actually feels your real heart. Think about it.
Right.
It like touches your organ. Like there's no one else on this planet that will feel you from the inside like that, like your heart, you know?
I got so many good jokes.
And people can connect in different ways. People could not connect.
Do you feel less connected?
Mm-hmm.
That'll take a minute.
Yeah, people say.
I mean, listen,
but Kim
the other was
said
10 months of
hers was
walking around.
like easy. This is not easy.
I definitely like buried my head in the sand during that pregnancy, that I didn't digest what was happening. And so I think when I went to the hospital, I really think that was the first time that really registered, and has nothing to do with the baby.
But guess who was seeing through the shenanigans and called them out right when all this was happening? Wendy Williams. One thing about Wendy, she might tell a joke, but she never tells a lie. And this situation was one of those times when she was spot on. So back when Kim made a surrogate have a baby, Wendy Williams openly jumped on Hot Topics to call out just how weird it was that she paid that poor surrogate just $45,000 to have her baby for her. She said the idea of it was very weird, and that Kim and her sharers were exploiting these women.
They've hired a surrogate, and reportedly they're paying her. They went through an agency, the proper channel, and they're paying her $45,000 a month. Excuse me, no, in total. Look, spread out over 10 months. And then if by chance she has twins, she'll get an extra $5,000 per kid. Something's not right. The agency is getting paid almost $70,000. That's their fee. But the woman will get like I was telling you, the $45,000 plus the extra $5,000 if she has multiples. You know, my thing is that the surrogate is opening herself up to virtually a lifetime of grief. You know, she's only housing the baby. It's not her baby, but she is. You know how you connect. I don't care whose baby you house. When you're laying up there in the bed, throwing up and craving, you know, oysters and eel. There is a connection then to this baby, and thus a connection to the family. And I feel like this woman will be followed for the rest of her life by the paparazzi, beginning now. Like, she's gonna have to stay in the house. You know, and the thing with, they're gonna dive into her personal life. I don't know whether the surrogate is black, white, I have no idea. We don't know anything, but we'll continue to dig.
And Wendy didn't lie. Her whole problem with this was the fact that Kim was only paying the surrogate just $45,000 when she had more than enough money to triple that amount. And mind you, even this $45,000 came with the time that if the surrogate broke, it could reduce the money even more. Now, I personally don't think Kim was using these women because they knew what they were signing up for when they signed up for this. However, in the wake of this Jane Doe testimony, people are saying that Wendy knew about what Kim was supposedly getting up to with Epstein, and that that's really what she wanted to talk about. But since she didn't have any proof to back it up, she had to keep it cute to avoid getting sued. One person said, Kim bought a woman to carry her kids because she cares about her stupid fake body. Another person said, Kim K only paid her surrogate about $41,000 because that's the maximum the law allows in her state. It's not a lot of money for a human life. No amount of money can compensate for the changes a woman's body goes through. Surrogacy is bad. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the allegations being made that Kim is linked to the Epstein files? And do you really think she was helping him run a baby breeding program? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.